Do you want to become a great public speaker? Have you ever struggled with not knowing what to say, how to structure your speech? Today I will show you how you can use AI to boost your public speaking skills. So I'm inside a ChatGPT, and the first thing I will show you is a moment when you want to brainstorm your ideas for the speech. Let's say you don't have an idea about what speech you could make, so let's just brainstorm that with ChatGPT. I will use a voice to text function, so it will be easier, and I recommend you to use this option as well. Let's begin. Hey ChatGPT, I'm preparing a Toastmasters speech and need help brainstorming personal stories. Can you ask me questions to uncover interesting moments from my life that I can turn into stories for my speech? I hit enter, and in just a moment we'll get a text which we can send it. And now here you go. I've got many interesting questions which I can answer, and after reading some, I'm sure that I will come up with some interesting idea for the speech I can say. After reading those questions and trying to answer them, I came up with an idea about telling a speech from my experience when I ran a marathon. So in order to prepare for that speech, I can say something like that to ChatGPT. I've got an idea about telling about my experience when a few months ago I was running a marathon for the first time. Please help me create a structure for this speech. In a moment I will tell you what happened and what I would like to tell you about this speech. And here we are. He gave me some speech title suggestion. We can later also ask him to give some other ideas interesting. And opening, context, build up, all the structure is made, and right now I can write with him, so I can, for example, adjust the structure to the story I want to tell. So I'll be authentic, but the ChatGPT leverage that I can now know how to properly do this speech. But let's say that you found out some interesting info on how to properly structure your speech, so you want to use that maybe in an article or YouTube video. So here I can engineer my ChatGPT so it can know better what I want. Here is my prompt. I want my speech to follow this structure, and I wrote all the things I want to do. For example, first person dynamic story, short sentences, fast pace, action, emotions. So my speech is interesting and engaging. I will send that, and right now he immediately picks his previous response and makes this more personal, more fast-paced, more emotional. And this is what I want. This is amazing. Right now I can like chat with him and prepare my speech even better. All the prompts I used here you will find down below, so you can easily copy them and use them on your own. So check it out. But now let's say I want to practice this speech. I can use a prompt like this. Okay, so I have a speech in 4 days. Make a plan of what I should do each day, but don't say everything at once. I will tell you when the next day is. For now, just give me a concept of what I should focus on in this speech. Body language and managing my tone of voice. Then give me the action point for the first day. I will accept that, and what you can see, the chat should prepare a 4-day plan for me, so I can each day make some exercises, prepare for the speech. This will give me, this consistency, which is very important in learning, in preparing for our speeches. I'll send this prompt, and once again we'll see what happens. But I want to point out a very important thing I did here. I said that the chat shouldn't do everything at once, as you see over here, because if I wouldn't write it, he would make those exercises all at once for all days, and it would overwhelm me. By writing this, I'll get one answer for one day and then another, only if the next day comes or I tell him so. So as you see, he told me what to focus on, body language and tone voice, what should I do, how to practice that, and he gave me an action plan for the day one. What to do: I should write a raw version of my story, answer these 3 prompts. What was I feeling when I hit my lowest point, and so on and so on. And let's say I did that and the next day came, so I can write this to the chat, and once again he will prepare some other exercises. So right now I should break my story into these 5 sections. I did that with my own story about running a marathon a few months ago when I was practicing for my Toastmasters speech. And really it helped me a lot because I knew what to do. You know, those small steps are very important. Now I will show you how you can summarize a feedback from others and from yourself after giving a speech, which is ultra efficient. So what you can do is to put this prompt, I'll show you in a moment. And here it is. Okay, here are the conclusions from my second speech. Please summarize them and tell me what I can do about it. And I wrote what I could improve, my own notes, and I can put my feedback there. For example, I should have made a clearer ending. And from others, what could be improved. And for example, I did that a few months ago during my second speech. And here's the effect. I just talked to ChatGPT, reading him a feedback from evaluations slips I've got after the speech. For example, they said, well, the audience said that I should make a better eye contact, use more stage, practice using synonyms, and so on and so on. I can send it then to ChatGPT and he will summarize key areas to improve. Right now, it's just great. He, of course, made also a preparation for day 3 because we didn't finish that. But as you can see, you can very nicely summarize your feedback. Lastly, what you can do here is, for example, say to chat that, alright, so if I will be doing in the future my next speech, please point out those key areas to improve and focus on them. When we will send it, he will remember what I should practice on and we'll be able to improve ourselves in our next speech. Now I'll show you yet another amazing tool to leverage your public speaking abilities. It's called Yoodli AI. You can log in there by first signing in on your Toastmasters international account. You have to be a member of some club. Then you can go to this link, toastmasters.yoodli.ai. When you log in, you will see this platform where you can practice on your camera with AI coach. For example, here I can do a presentation or table topics. I will choose table topics. And as you can see here, my camera is on, and here you can see some questions I can answer to improve my improvised speech. I can find something else. For example, this one is interesting. What would you do if you won $15 million? And I can click a start and practice that with AI coach. So let's begin. 3, 2, 1. What I will do is probably finish all my dreams. I will do and make them come true. For example, I would fly to the United States. I would go to the Japan or to India. I would also do many other stuffs, maybe invest those money in some stocks so I can get a profit from them later on in my life. I don't spend all of them at once. Alright, I finished that, and now I ended the video. I can save it and view the analysis. And as you can see in the panel here, you can see your
What I
own
would do
recording,
is probably
and there you have a transcription. On the right side of this panel, you will see the analytics. For example, counter. How many parasounds I made? Made none, so it's good. But however, I did some repetitions, 2 of them, so I can get, so I am. Weak words, I used so 4 times and probably once. Also, I started my sentence with I 50% of the time, which makes my speech less clear and less appealing. Also, you have the listening, where you can see monologues, talk time, how much I talked. Then you have delivery, for example, centering, so how was I centered on the camera? It was good. Pacing, this is interesting. How fast was I speaking? As you can see, I was speaking faster and faster until the end of the speech. Also pauses, how many pauses I get. Here there were, for example, here you
so
can
I
click
can
this
get
pause recording and find out this exact situation. And also eye contact with a camera. Lastly, you have a coaching. A coach who will give you some summarization of your speech. Here you can see this summarization. So I was engaged constantly, somewhat confident and somewhat natural. So those are the things I can work on. And you can read that and see what you could do better. Then you can also share that or practice again, so we get better and better. There are many other tools within Yoodli AI, but I recommend you to check it out and really practice your speaking skills in front of camera, because it's also very helpful skill nowadays. Last tool I want to show you is Perplexity AI. First, I would like to show you this example. Can you share some of the most iconic and impactful Toastmasters World Championship speeches from different years, focusing on the most memorable and game-changing performances? Please highlight the speeches that truly stand out in Toastmasters history. After that, I can, for example, choose a model, Cloud or best one for this prompt. But after that, you can see Perplexity is generating an answer based on many sources. Here you can see 19 sources, and he brought to me some of the most interesting speeches ever made by people in the Toastmasters from all the years. Now I can find one that interests me the most, and for example, watch it on YouTube. Here you can see there's the source. I can open it and just watch it to learn.
Ouch.
After that, you can also say something like that. What are the best techniques great speakers use? I don't mean obvious ones like having a clear structure or speaking clearly. More advanced ones. And I can send that to get very insightful feedback. For example, strategic use of poses, vocal variety and control, body language as a superpower, and how he wrote the purpose and how to do that, a tip. So those are great tips that you won't normally find that easy, because I specified that I don't want obvious pieces of advice. Now, after reading that, let's say I want to practice strategic use of poses. So now I can tell him something like that. Make me a 5-day plan for how I can practice strategic use of poses in my daily life. And after a moment of thinking, he made me a 5-day plan. How can I practice those poses in my daily life? For example, awareness and observation. I can propose that I can watch some TED Talk or Toastmaster speech and know how poses were used. I could do intentional pausing in conversation with a family member or a friend, and so on and so on. This is a great tool. So that's it. I hope you found out something interesting for yourself, something you can immediately jump into and practice and have fun, because this is the most important thing in life. So thank you for today's video. Please give a like, subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like that, and also write in the comments if you use some other interesting tools to leverage your public speaking abilities. Thank you and have a great day.